longevity, anti-aging, these are sort of flying around on the interwebs. And not that they haven't been going on since the 50s. But there's been some strategies, techniques, methods, things that are out there that are kind of new. And I've seen a lot of them and they're kind of, they're not great, okay? And I'm going to give you the ones that I think have really helped me as a guy who was born in 1958, 13 years after World War II, all right? And I don't know what that's supposed to feel like. It feels pretty good. I have a little hamstring tightness and a knee kind of barks once in a while. But there's a lot of things that I know right here, right now, on this day that I didn't even know 5 years ago, all right? And a lot of it had to do with the fact that I got something called Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, which is basically shingles in my ear that fried all the nerves in my brain that affected my sight, my smell, my taste, my balance, all right? So when you come out of something like that, and all the king's horses and all the king's men cannot put you back together again, you got to figure out stuff for yourself, all right? So one of the keys that I learned from that is dealing with, and this is the reason why most people get shingles, is stress. Stress is not a thing that you can see or touch or feel or hear or anything. It's just this thing that is inside of you based on the way that you are reacting to external and internal forces that are all happening at the same time. Now, for me, my good pal Tom Petty passed away. I had friends that were at the shooting in Las Vegas. And then, I had some business stuff going on that was just so darn stressful. And it all happened like within the same week. And that stress caused the shingles to surface because I had chickenpox as a child, and maybe you've had chickenpox. So you want to make sure that you deal with this stuff. And so I would recommend one of the keys, and there's more, I'm going to just tap into this first one, to dealing with stress is making sure that you have a mindfulness strategy, a list or strategies, a list of different things that you do that help you be in the moment, that help calm you down, that allow you to be more present more often, even under physical, mental, and emotional, stressful episodes of your life, right? So mine was a mental thing when I got Ramsay-Hunt. It was also emotional to a certain degree, but it wasn't so physical. I mean, I was doing my workouts and blah, 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 but I had no mindfulness practices. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm also going to talk about rest and recovery, which are similar. They're interchanged, but they're a little bit different. So mindfulness is just stuff that makes you happy, that makes you smile, that makes you feel good, that makes you feel altruistic, like you stop thinking about yourself and you start thinking about other people. And there are all kinds of stuff. I mean, from gardening. Gardening is one, like getting out in the yard and clipping that tree. That's really nice. And I have a dog named Charlie and Lola, 2 dogs, Charlie and Lola. And every time I see them, I want to pet them, I want to hang out with them, I want to kiss them, I want to love them. And that is a mindfulness practice. It seems almost too simple. But if you and this also applies to your children and your wife and your husband and the people around you, like just being super loving and nice and wonderful and doing nice things for them. That is part of your mindfulness practice. Also, mindfulness is going for walks, like just walking through the neighborhood, like just taking your time. It's not about exercise. You don't have a heart monitor on. You're just chilling out, all right? Reading is another one. Like just reading something that you're just super into and you're into it and you're sitting down. Or I wouldn't read on the treadmill. I don't know why people do that. But the reading is a nice one. Of course, music is one of my favorite. I'm a big music guy. I'm Shazamming songs left and right. I'm making playlists. And I have one that I've called Shauna's playlist. I got another one called Brian's 99. Brian and I, when we were actors, we came up with all these songs and we put them together. And they're just chill music, and I use them for yoga. I have yoga songs, and I also have my Led Zeppelin, my Police, my Cure, my Rage Against the Machine. And even though a lot of that stuff is cranking, it makes me happy. It takes me back to happier times. And all those things that I've described, and maybe you've got some of your own as well. And taking a nap, for example, is a mindfulness practice. It's also part of your recovery, right? That's one of the ones that's they're both in the same category. And these things need to happen daily. Daily. Not every once in a while, not every Thursday, not twice a month. This is stuff that like, okay, I'm gonna just hang out with my dog, or I'm just gonna talk to my kids and be a great dad, or whatever it is. Or I'm gonna sit down and read half a chapter in this book. Or you know what, I'm gonna take 5 minutes and I'm gonna play this playlist that just makes me happy. You can't imagine what that does for your central nervous system, how it brings your adrenal glands down, your cortisol levels are not freaking out anymore. It's super important. Now, rest and recovery, okay, anti-aging. Perfect example is LeBron James. Whether you like him or hate him, whatever, the guy's 40 years old and he's got all the points and he's got all the records and he still plays like he's 22 years old because for every hour on the basketball court and every hour in the gym, he's got 2 hours of some kind of rest and recovery activity. And we're talking about massage, we're talking about range of motion flexibility stuff, we're talking about cold plunge, we're talking about infrared saunas, Theraguns, foam rollers, all the things that people should be doing to help improve the quality of their muscle and teaching those muscles to recover better than they were before you beat the crap out of them in your workouts. Now, a lot of people, they have a warm up and a workout, and they have a cool down, and they don't have any other separate. They have compression is another one, compression sleeves, ones that blow up, ones that put on your muscles. Ice, it's endless. Ice baths. Laird Hamilton threw me in an ice bath once. I almost thought I was going to die. All ice. It was like that much water and the rest was ice, and I lasted a minute. And when I came out of there, I felt good, I felt alive, felt really nice. So if you don't have any kind of rest and recovery and or mindfulness stuff, you're going to have some issues. All right, so that's really, really important. Now, most disease, I got to be careful here because I'll have people detractors will say no. A lot of the issues that we have inside of our body with our pancreas and our liver and our kidneys and our digestive system and our digestive tract and in our brain, right? So when I had Ramsay-Hunt syndrome and I was just in the worst shape of the world, part of it was the food that I was eating, all right? I don't know if you've read a book called Grain Brain, but I was just too many carbs and they were complex and they were gluten-free and they were low glycemic and blah, blah, blah. But I was eating too many cookies and crackers and chips and processed food that were like my little cheat meals. But I noticed that I was not eating enough fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats, right? So Jack LaLanne said it back in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s. You are what you eat. So you have to be careful about what's going in your mouth because inflammation will happen inside of these organs and inside of your joints and in your lungs and everywhere else. And that leads to, you name the cancer, that's part of it. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, type 2 diabetes, stroke, heart attack, hypertension. It's like these and this. If you're not treating the inside properly, then I don't care how much mindfulness, how much rest and recovery, how much variety and exercise, how much meditation, the food matters, all right? So, and I'm not gonna tell you whether to be vegan or vegetarian or pescatarian or flexitarian, or whatever it is, or paleo. I'm a part-time vegan, and that seems to be working for me. You've heard me say it before. If there's wild salmon on the menu, I'm gonna be eating it. If I go to Jackson Hole and there's medium rare elk medallions, yummy, all right? Rarely. Now, I'm basically in a place right now where I'm in the middle of a body fat challenge with some friends of mine. So I have really hunkered down. I would say that 95% of what I eat is clean, clean, clean. I haven't had an energy bar, I haven't had a cookie, I haven't had a cracker, I haven't had a chip in 2 weeks, and I'm miserable, but I feel amazing. It's a weird mix, but I'm getting used to it. I'm not crazy. Like I look in the pantry, I look at these foods that I used to eat, I go, I don't want that anymore. The transition was but I love the way I feel and I love the energy that I have and I love that I'm sleeping really great. Now there's about 45 other things that I can cover, but I want to start here and share this with you because this whole longevity, anti-aging thing starts with some of the stuff that I'm talking about. If you get involved with these sort of new techniques, strategies, whatever they are, I think you're going to notice a difference. And be okay with the transitional period because the transformation is hard. The first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks for certain people, depending on who you are. Some people are like, oh, all right, change, I'm fine. 2 weeks later, they're living it. Others, they stop and start, and don't beat yourself. Do not judge the thing. But this is after 40 years of being in this business, and as a 67-year-old, I feel great. You know what I mean? So the more you learn, the better you'll get. You got to, you learn it, and then you apply it, and then you keep moving forward. And life can be nothing but a dream. Tony Horton, over now. Bye. And if you enjoy videos like this, then join me at PowerNationFitness.com and you're going to learn a lot.